virtuality. His idea is that potentiality is and along the same lines he distinguishes between chance and contingency. Potentiality is something possible that can happen, but it is as such already inscribed as a possibility within the frame of what is possible at a certain level. For example, if you throw a dice, how do you call it now, with 6 numbers, you have 1 6 that it will be, I don't know which number, 1, 2, 6 or whatever, no? So, of course, you can say that if you analyze it in detail, it's not a chance, but let us say at least it appears so. So, you throw it, one of the numbers will appear. It's a chance and it's a potentiality. But for him, contingency is virtuality is something which emerges in a contingent way, is something which formally has the status of a miracle. This would be what Badiou called an event, something which emerges and which precisely you cannot reduce it to the set of what already pre-exists. Of what already pre-exists. So his idea is that he tries to link this then to the relationship between time and space. That in potentiality, space has priority over time. That is to say, what can emerge in the course of time is always already inscribed as a possibility in the spatial constellation. For example, again, you throw a dice, one of the 6 numbers. It's a chance, potentiality, but possibilities are realized which pre-exist. For him, virtuality is when something emerges, as it were, ex nihilo, from nothing, in the sense that it's genuinely new. It's literally a product of time. You cannot reduce it to its causes. Or, as Meillassoux puts it in very nice term, that it's the actualization, something happening which creates its own possibility. You cannot isolate it in advance as possible. And then, of course, I love this, insofar as we do, as we usually do, insofar as we understand God as this eternal, atemporal set, network of all possible worlds, God knew everything in advance. For him, I love this. Miracle is the ultimate proof of materialism. Because miracle means precisely that something happened which was not yet included into this matrix of all, this eternal matrix of all possibilities by God. What all I wanted to tell you is that then the great problem here, and here I disagree with Meillassoux, incidentally, his reasoning is much more complex here. Because, sorry? No, let's do it. Let's do it. No, it's one S, I think. Meilla. EC2S, maybe. SSOUX, yes. Although it's difficult to pronounce in English, in contrast to many French people, his English is very good. Like he is anti-Badiou at this level. Although, again, a friendly step, I cannot resist it. I think Badiou is acting there a little bit. You know in what sense? Did you notice how selective his French or English pronunciation is? Like in grammar with verbs and so on, he goes into English. But with fundamental terms, he prefers what about the possibility of. You notice this, how? As if he wants to stick there to it. Okay, well, that's another point. No, what I want to say is that, I have other problems with that, but he is an incredible speculative talent. His idea is the one, of course, radical contingency. the contingency of laws of nature, not only in the sense of that the laws are contingent, in the sense of there is no reason why for example, we know this Newton's law of whatever, acceleration, but why is it like this? Why not 2 times faster or whatever? I mean, there is no reason for the law itself. In this sense, Meillassoux is right to say that that modern science is irrational in this sense. And in this sense, these are very interesting debates. You know, when the Pope, this Benedict, when he had that unfortunate debate with Muslims, and he attacked modern science as irrational. I mean, okay, he attacked the Muslims, claiming that Islamic religion, by allowing for a totally irrational God beyond, who can give you totally crazy orders, kill whatever, it's too dangerous. He claimed that the Christian emphasis on logos as reason, the idea being that nonetheless you can count on God, that, how should I put it, that God with all his crazy orders will retain a certain decency, how should I put it, no? That it's much more rational and so on. I'm here totally opposed to what he says. He didn't do his own homework, as it were. Because it's crucial to see how, when he explains what he means with irrationality, Benedict the Pope refers, for example, to Darwinism as irrational. Why? Because it's purely contingent, no progress, development, and people like Dennett, Dawkins, and so on, Gould, here they are right. I mean, Darwinism is very radical still today, because true Darwinism is not what we think a kind of a, progressive evolutionary adaptation. It's just total contingency. The lesson is not the stronger, the most better adapted one wins. The lesson is that the process is totally contingent. There is no general adaptation. Like, you develop in this way, then circumstances can change, some catastrophe, and another guy who was weaker is stronger, and there is no teleology, history could have taken a totally different turn, and so on and so on. So this is for him irrational. In this sense, modern science is irrational. Not irrational in the sense of mystic madness, but irrational in the sense that the laws are utterly contingent. In the sense of that there is no necessity, or to put it in more traditional words, deeper meaning of the laws themselves. And this is precisely, of course, what Benedict wants. He wants this Aristotelian universe where everything, as it were, serves something, has a deeper meaning. Not only in this primitive sense of that evolution is directed in a certain sense, but in this sense, that the whole cosmos is a hierarchy where the lower is the foundation for the higher, and so on and so on. So again, in this sense, again, I repeat it, irrationality, only in the sense in which irrationality rather in the sense of radical contingency. That's the point of Meillassoux. And then he wonderfully solves here all the problems in a very Hegelian way, I claim. All the problems of how can we know things in themselves. He also gives a very problematic but very intelligent Kantorian, referring to Kantorian notion of infinity, answer to the big reproach that you can address him. The reproach is the following one. If everything is radically contingent, not only in the sense that we cannot ground the laws of nature in a higher reason, that laws are just what they are, contingently. Then Meillassoux goes even further. He says we have no guarantee, Hume was right, that laws themselves will not be suspended and things will start to behave in a different way, following different